Yeah, so there's so many nicknames out there. Never mind, I'll just call it Jin. Simple. Very, very simple.
Like you are Jin,
Yes.
CEO of Aspect Studios. Is that your primary?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah, I guess so. But most people don't know me as that.
I still know you as.
I'll give you introduction. Yeah, not your regular corporate introduction.
Okay, great. Hey everyone, before we begin this next episode of the Hello Mentor podcast, I just want to say if you're job searching or hiring, check out hiredly.com. We are not just another job platform. We make it easier to find the jobs that people actually want, and we help companies stand out to hire the right talent. So there's a lot of smart tech and there's a lot of human touch. That's Hiredly. So you can head to hiredly.com and give it a go. Hi everyone, it's another episode of the Hello Mentor podcast. We have Jin with us today. Hi Jin.
Hi.
Hello.
I like that how 3 years ago I was interviewing you and now you're interviewing me.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Right. Tables have turned.
Yes.
Now I get to ask the question though. I've known. Well, I met Jin in person 3 years ago, but obviously many years ago, I've known Jin because of your popularity on YouTube.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So, but how would you introduce yourself today?
So my name is Jin, and I'm a self-declared CEO of Aspect Ratio Studios because I founded the company. And generally, the company is an advertising agency focusing on a lot of digital marketing, influencer marketing, talent management, and production and creative as well. But I think the majority of people will kind of know me as Jinnyboy, the person who used to be on radio and then left radio and then used to be on YouTube. Now I left YouTube and now I'm trying to kind of navigate my way around the corporate the corporate side of things, which has been a journey, but it's fun lah. But I think I'm still once in a while going out to do stuff related to entertainment. Like last October I was in a 72-hour shoot for the Watson's Chinese New Year video, sitting down there and getting no sleep for a video that's less than 10 minutes. But it's all worth it. I like it. It's okay.
Right.
Yeah. But other than that, these days I'm focused more on kind of building a company lah.
I see. Right. I mean, speaking of that, sometimes people don't realize how much work and hours go into producing like a 10 minutes piece of content.
Oh yeah. I think a lot of people tend to think that it's very funny because when I was doing the whole YouTube thing, so I think for those people watching who kind of aren't familiar with what I do, I used to do YouTube. So YouTube is a platform. You all know what YouTube is. You're probably watching this on YouTube. But I used to do short films, posted up on YouTube, and then obviously in return for viewership. And somehow, I managed to kind of monetize that business. And we made videos on a very regular basis. And people who join our company as interns be like, oh, this video, this short film here about a love story, probably shot in 1 day. And they were quite shocked that we shot in 7 days. For like a 10-minute video, like stuff like that. So while it seems easy from in the forefront, there's a lot of work that goes behind into making a short film, and it gets very, very challenging, especially in a landscape where demands content on a very regular basis.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to jump back and forth with that actually. So I'm so curious. So because before you went into YouTube, you were obviously you were DJ, right?
Yeah.
So, and before you were DJ, what were you doing that before?
So before I was a DJ, I was actually a marketing exec at Astro.
Right.
So I, obviously, when I came back from my tertiary studies after graduating, the typical young kid would be like, I'm going to take a few months off, go travel the world, holiday, but my bank account said otherwise. So my mom, typical Asian parents, like, go get a job, go get a job, that kind of thing. So I landed myself a job in Astro as a marketing exec. So my role was very diverse. I was in charge of coming up with promotional campaigns for radio campaigns, like and across across all 8 major stations. English, which is Mix and Hits, Chinese, My FM at that time is My FM, and then you had the Malay. That time you had Era, X Fresh, and Sina, and then you have the Tamil, and then you have the other terrestrial and rural stations. I forgot what it were. So what we would do is work together with the sales team. They'll come back with a brief from the clients, and then we will come up with a promotional campaign to promote that specific, campaign, brand, product on radio. Writing scripts for 30-second commercials, or delegating it to the copywriters, or coming up with contest elements. Like, obviously, the most popular contest element that everybody will kind of recognize would be like, who is the Hits.fm fugitive? Win your share of 100,000 ringgit by asking the right question. These are the things that I was involved in. And of course, we did the on-air and online portion of it, meaning that if a brand came to me and said that, oh, I want to sell this product, I'll write a contest element or a promo element for the radio side, and then write a prompt to all the website builders to build a microsite for that campaign. So,
Right.
I'm kind of like that lah.
I see.
Yeah.
And how do you move from that to becoming a DJ? It seems like quite a deep.
Yeah, it was. Okay, so I think from young, I was quite comfortable going on stage to host for extra money. So when I was like 15 years old or maybe 14 years old, there was this whole yo-yo craze that came to Malaysia. I'm not sure whether you're aware of it.
I have some memory of it.
Yeah, right. So Petronas back then, BP back then, British Petroleum, now they are BHP. BP brought in this one guy called Johans, and he played yo-yos, like not your conventional yo-yo throw down and up and down. He was doing two-handed stunts and everything, and everybody like, what? This is crazy, right? And then they had like road shows all over across the country, sending Malaysians to the States for international competition. So I obviously caught on to the craze with my bunch of friends. But I met this one guy, a DJ, his name is Rada, and he's basically the AV sound supplier lah. So every event you have like a sound system supplier, right? So he was the music jockey and also the person who made announcements. So he said, hey, you want a part-time job? I was like, yeah, sure. So my job was to basically play the music and play the contest element music, and that's it. And he paid me like $50 a day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then one day he said that, hey, I can't be here today, but you need to make some announcement. You think you can? And then for me, it was like, I've been seeing him do it for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, right? And you sort of already know that everything is pretty much the same. So I wrote down whatever he said as a script, and I just made those announcements, and that allowed him to kind of go elsewhere to handle his own things while I handled that, So I think that taught me to host. Right. So when it came to radio, while I was doing a desk job in the marketing section, Astro actually had like a division which did voice commercials. So like when you're riding in your traffic jam and you're listening to your song, and all of a sudden an ad comes up, right? So those ads need voice talents. So in Malaysia, there's this thing called the Voice Guild. So in Astro, they would just go around the whole company and say, hey, anybody want to use the voice, earn money. Because back then, if you went into the studio, they had their studios and everything. You go in and you sneeze one time, they'll pay $300. Because you're for the rights to use your voice for that particular commercial.
I see.
Yeah. So for me, I think I could do a lot of impressions. So they use me for a lot of things like this, Oh, I want you to sound like an abing. Oh, I want you to sound a little bit more atas, like a Mat Saleh. Oh, I want you to sound a little bit more pasar malam. Oh, I want you to read a Malay script. So yeah, I did that as a side gig.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And actually, they paid a lot of money. I'm not gonna lie. Like if I did like 5 different voice scripts in a month, they'll be paying me about like $2,000 to $2,005. And that's the best part was if I did one script and it's Malay and English, they pay me $350, $700. So most of the brands that come into the record commercials, they are of course across multilingual stations. So I didn't know Chinese. If I knew Chinese, they pay me 3 times already. So I only know English, Malay. So I recorded those voiceovers, and that was a part-time job. And I think my boss kind of noticed it at that time. So how I got the radio job was somebody made a big mistake on air, and they had to put that person on. Well, they didn't fire the person, but they took that person off air, and they were desperately looking for a replacement for that particular show. So they just came up to me and said, hey, do you want to do radio? And I'm like, yeah, I'll think about it, I don't mind. And they say, oh, what's your pay right now? I'm getting paid 1,008. Okay, I'll pay you 2,500. Okay, yeah, I'll take it, no problem. I was like, wow, they paid more. So like the perception of like, entertainment industry pays a lot, right? If you become famous, you get a lot of money. So I took the job lah.
Right.
That's literally how I got it. There was no fancy story. It's literally someone lost their job and I had to take over lah.
Right. And they pay you more than what you're earning.
Yeah.
But not a lot more at the same time.
Not a lot more, but to me that was a lot. 2.5, and I was like, yeah, I just went for it.
Right. Oh, man. So would you say, like, I mean, in some sense, there's a lot of luck. Do you think it's a lot of luck?
Of course, I think if that person did not do what he or she did to mess up on air, I don't think I'll be getting that job. But I will still be doing voice commercials lah, right?
Right.
And then yeah, I think a lot of luck lah. I feel that I also did kind of said it, like tell my peers or my managers, hey, if there's any opportunity for me to do anything part time, whether you want me to host anything, just let me do lah. So I guess maybe they were kind of aware of what I could do or how I sold myself or what I could do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So sometimes, it's this big question of how much of it is luck and how much was it of you putting yourself out there.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both lah. Yeah, you can't sell yourself when you don't have the skill lah,
Right.
So
right.
if you have the confidence, I would say sell yourself lah. For me, it was not so much about trying to, I want to be in the entertainment industry. For me, it's like, how can I make more money? It was just that. So the perception of radio DJs made a lot of money because back then I grew up listening to Fly Guy and Little Kev. And then after that, it was JJ and Rudy. And you see them on billboards, you see them on campaigns, you see them on magazines. So the perception in your mind be like, they must be earning a lot of money because, must be great to be in their position. So I guess when that opportunity came, that perception in my mind kind of pushed me to take it.
Right. And so I suppose the job itself paid okay, but it's not like you got you very rich. But would you consider that moment to be like the point, like your big break? In terms of entertaining the entertainment industry, or was it the point where you started the YouTube channel?
No, so I feel at that point of time, I felt like, this is my next big break, to be in the entertainment industry. I'm finally in. So you're like, I was working for the number one English station in the country. So the perception is really that I think I made it. If I were to be working for a station, it has to be number one, and I'm there. So I think that came at the beginning of my employment with the station. But obviously it did not prepare me to what I was about to get when I did the whole YouTube thing. When I did the whole YouTube thing, it was a completely different wave of attention, which kind of changed my perceptions. Like, there's more to working. There's more to just working with the number one English station. I was like, there's international audiences and there's a lot more attention, and for me it's like, okay, I used to watch YouTubers back then, like Wong Fu and Ryan Higa, and they go out of a country to do tours and meet and greet and stuff, and they commanded like 1,000 people show up and stuff like that. So yeah, when the whole YouTube thing happened, I got recognized more, I got approached more. Where we say we're going to be somewhere, people will go, and I'm like, that never happened when I was working in radio.
Right.
So it was like, yeah, I took whatever came at that point of time. So when I started radio, I took it as, this is peak for me already. Then after the YouTube thing came, and I'm like, okay, there's something different. So then I stopped expecting. I stopped kind of putting my expectations in places, because you'll never know what comes.
Right. What made you take that brave step though to leave? It's a pretty good job, right? Like, DJ number one radio station and go on and start your YouTube.
It was. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I think half of it was like I was comfortable in radio. I mean, I think salary wise wasn't the greatest. And I think at one point I was earning $5,000 a month, and then I was doing outside jobs that pay me on a regular basis, maybe like, if I was lucky, $10,000 a month. Like, hosting press conferences, hosting product launches, event launches. They pay pretty good money. So it's like, you had your basic, but you had your kind of side gigs as well. So for me, it was like, I was pretty happy at that point in time. But I think like when the whole YouTube thing exploded, there were a lot of shifts in what Astro wanted me to do. It was like, oh, all of a sudden, I was doing the night show, which I loved at that point of time. And then because the YouTube thing blew up, suddenly they kind of took me and put me in the morning show. And they used my nickname, Jinnyboy, as, the branding.
Oh, did they?
Which, before that, they didn't allow me to do. They just want me to be Jin on the station. And every time I said Jinnyboy, it was like, oh, you can't use that nickname because it's kind of sort of promoting your personal Twitter handle. At that point, it's only Twitter. There was no Instagram or other platforms. So they rebranded the show to, first it was Jin and Ryan, then Jinnyboy and Ian. So for me, I was like, okay, cool, that's great. For me, it was like, oh, cool, finally someone kind of recognized my kind of work, my brand and stuff like that. But I felt that the YouTube thing had a lot of potential only because I was talking to my peers in the States and I was kind of trying to understand how they ran their business in the States. And I understood that, oh, nobody's doing this in Malaysia. So why not I be the first? Yeah. So I started doing it I was doing it at the same time when I was doing my radio show. And obviously it's terrible because when you do the morning show, you wake up at 4:30, you clock in at 5:30, and then you do the show until like maybe 10 in the morning. And then from 10 to 2, you're busy planning for the next day, recording prank calls. I know you guys, probably you heard of this whole gotcha,
Yeah, that's from, I don't know if they still do it, but I definitely.
They don't. Thank God they don't. I hated it like hell. I did about almost like 4,000 calls in my career.
Wow.
And the success rate is 10%.
Wow.
So it's like, I hated it. 3,000 were probably the ones that aired, but 10,000 were more or were the ones that failed. So, once you're done, you go home at 3 o'clock, dead tired. But for me, is when I left the station, I would go out and film YouTube videos to hopefully upload on the channel and continue that momentum of viewership and growth. So I did that for a while, I think for 2 or 3 years. And, Hits also did some collaborations with me. They used to do parodies and stuff. But when they did parodies, it was just the parody and then they just put it on radio. But because I was in the picture, they got me to do the videos. And that exploded in some way and also helped the growth of the channel. Like, we did Gangnam Style. Well, Gangnam Style was big and we did KL Style. They hit 10 million views, 30 million views actually. And then there was a lot of other songs that were famous and we did parodies of it and music videos of it. So for me, it's like I saw a very big opportunity. And when Astro came to me and said that, hey, we kind of want to buy rights to sell your YouTube channel, then that kind of gave me the assurance that, okay, I think I could sell this too. And that's why when it came to time to renew my contract, I said that I didn't want to renew my contract. All of a sudden, everybody like, There were some past negotiations of my contract in terms of compensation of salary, which they pulled the whole like, oh, but HR said cannot this and that and that. But when I resigned, all of a sudden they threw everything on the table.
Right.
Kind of gave me that impression of, okay, there is something that they're not being completely honest with me. So for me, that didn't prompt me to leave the company. I mean, I'm grateful for what Astro has done for me. Obviously, they gave me a kickstart in this whole entertainment industry. So, but that gave me that, okay, what if I did this myself? So I told my boss, my ex-boss, Brian, shout out to Brian, because he's the one that really took care of me and took care of my paycheck and everything. So, hey, boss, I kind of want to do my own thing. So if I fail, can I just join back? He's like, yeah, sure, call me. So I was like, okay, cool. He was very supportive. So I left to do my thing. And I think when I did that, I didn't look back.
Right. Were you already making some income from that YouTube work already?
Yes, I was. I was, but not a lot. And to give you a perspective of how much we were kind of making, I could probably about not even 300,000 a year.
Right. For the whole.
Yeah, when we get, because we were the first to do this, and we didn't know how much to charge at that point of time. So we were like, okay, let's just charge 50,000 per video, right? And then clients be like, yeah, sure. And they didn't negotiate. Some would negotiate lah. And then we were like, oh, we better lower our price now. Later they don't want us, right? But like, you know, I kept raising the prices because every time we charged like 50,000, we were like making $500. Then in my mind, I was like, what the heck? Shouldn't we be working like millions? People are commenting in our comment section, wow, you got 10 million views. You must be a millionaire. And I was like, there was no monetization in Malaysia at that point in time. We were making nothing. So I think the revenue back then was really not great. So what I did was I started making t-shirts to sell, right? And my wife, who was back then working for Pajaya, Radio Shack, and she was really earning quite well. You know, her salary was pretty good. And then I told her, hey, can you help me to do this? Like do the whole I did the t-shirt thing, me and my mom, and we did this thing called the Abuden t-shirts. And I was like, okay, you know what? Let's just print 300 pieces. Who's gonna buy, right? And it sold out in like an hour. And I was like, crap, I should print more. But then it took like 2 months to print the t-shirts, you know? So I just took a shot as, okay, let's print 1,000 pieces, right? And then we sold 1,000 pieces. Okay, let's print another 1,000 pieces. Then we sold. And to be honest, like in just 2 months, we made like 70 to 80 grand worth of revenue.
Wow.
Which I used to hire my first staffer.
Right.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I need someone to help. Right. So I guess that's really how it started. And then my wife came in to manage the merchandising at that point in time. So I was continuously trying to work with the designer. So we came out with Abuden t-shirts, then we came with other t-shirts as well. And, then my wife would handle the logistics of it. And then she would take a cut of it. Like, that's her business. We agree, like, okay, whatever you make from here, the profit is yours. Then it was very hard labor. And then she came to me, is like, hey, you know what? I used to work with a lot of clients last time. Should I just call my clients and ask them if they want to do a music, like, a video? And then I was like, yeah, sure, whatever you can do. And she started bringing in all the clients. And I was like, oh, okay. Because, to give you a bit of context, she used to work for Universal Music. She was the label manager for US and UK. So all the big artists like Lady Gaga, Justin Bieber, Taylor Swift, all these big deals in Malaysia was handled by her.
Wow.
So she had like a big clientele list, right? So she brought those people in because, her friends there, we used to work there. Then they move companies, and then they're like, hey, my husband is doing this. Do you think you want to be a part of it? Oh yeah, I've been trying to get in touch with you, but I cannot get in touch. Oh, you? Yes, yeah, why not? That kind of thing. So she started bringing in the sales, and that's where I saw a very big rapid growth in revenue.
Wow.
And that allowed us to grow. We hired more because back then it was me and Ruben. It was us writing the script, shooting, and I editing. I was doing the editing. It's just the two of us. Right. Yeah, one more guy which kind of handled the admin side, the inquiries and stuff. Right. But when my wife came in and started bringing in a lot more revenue, because we did all the things ourselves, the margins was really high. And we were like, hey, I think we can hire some people, right? So we did. We hired a producer, and then from there we hired a cinematographer, and then an editor, and then that started to make the company grow. And then after we hired a writer to assist us in writing. And then I guess that's where we were already like, okay, I guess this is it, man. This is the whole YouTube journey. We got this sorted out. We've got a team of like 6 people, and we're just gonna continue making videos every month. And then my wife will bring in all the sales, and then we'll hit 1 million subscribers, and then we'll go upwards from there.
Right. This was still when you were like Jinnyboy TV.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there was I think peak time was between 2014 to 2019. That's when it started to grow quite rapidly. Yeah.
Right. I'm so curious when you made that leap to, as in start that YouTube channel, like leaving a very, I guess, most people consider like a high status job, at least, even though it is not super well paid, right? But did your family or parents have any concerns? Like, seems strange to go towards what's this YouTube thing?
So my mom had the biggest concern when I switched from a desk job, a marketing job, to a DJ job. She was like, huh? You want to do this? Is it stable or not? This and that, And then obviously I told her, I got a pay raise. Oh, okay. Asian parents just want security, you know what I mean? I would say that a radio DJ, or otherwise known as a radio announcing job, it's the most stable paying job in the entertainment industry. As compared to a TV host or an actor or other entertainment roles. Because like, okay, I'll give you an example. If you're an actor, you do one season of a film, and then it flops, they cancel the next season. If you're a TV host, and that show dies, the next season will just be cancelled. Whereas for radio, radio has traditionally been a tool for people to deliver the news, to tell time. Back then, when there was no real-time digital stuff, right? We had the black box, which was a radio to play music, but also to deliver the news, to tell time, to give you the latest events that's happening around the world. Way back before people could even afford TVs back then. So radio comes from a very traditional and long historical background. Like even in the war days, right? People will turn to AM or FM radios to listen to updates. Like if you watch Oppenheimer, how did people find out that the US actually bombed Hiroshima? It was through a radio. So it has been lasted decades, centuries even. No, I won't say centuries, sorry, decades. So I guess radio is always a medium that's never gonna die, right? But obviously it has its challenges since you got Spotify, all these people coming up, podcasts and stuff like that. But it is the most stable job lah. So I told that to my mom, and then she's like, oh, okay. But when I did the whole YouTube thing again, they said, huh? You want to leave a stable paying job to do this? How much are you earning here? Is it stable or not? Every month got that kind of thing. So for me, it's like, I just said yes lah. Obviously, there was no jobs coming. I said, yeah, I'm fine, no worry. And I just focused on building, actually. I was focused on building two things, like creative and the numbers, the subscriber base at YouTube. That's all I was really focused on.
Right. So in some sense, sometimes you just gotta ignore it, is it?
Yeah. You gotta ignore it lah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, also I'm very curious. It also sounds like on you mentioned on TV and all that it's very easy to see if something is not doing so well as a TV show, but maybe a radio is like super. It's hard to do a bad job on radio. Is that what?
Yeah, because radio always plays the biggest hits worldwide, right? I feel that radio either creates a trend or follows a trend, but most of the time we are following a trend. Like we're always following. Like something about Malaysian radio is apart from era, like for the English station, we're always following the American top 40 charts. So if it's big in America, all right, it's gonna be big here. So it's always following the biggest hits. So we're never running out of content, and the content in this case is music. Radio DJs weren't really the entertainers, apart from the morning show. The other shows we are just the in between fillers. Okay, at the end of a song, and they will come in and we will introduce another song. So the role of a radio announcer is to sell songs. Yeah. Because you hear a good song and be like, oh, this song very nice. What is it? Then obviously you're expecting the radio announcer or the DJ to tell you, oh, that was Blackpink, Let's Kill This Love. And then what's the next thing you'll do? You'll go back and you'll Google, or you will go to a store and look for that particular song on a CD or something else. So we were actually trying to sell songs.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was really our job.
Oh, I never realized.
Yeah. And then of course we were there to also sell brand mentions, like the hits Morning Crew, brought to you by Max's, blah 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 blah, brought to you by DG, blah 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 blah, and their tagline. So I guess that was a real estate for brands to come in and kind of showcase their promotions, their brands, their call letters, everything.
Right. So okay, and I'm gonna jump back even more now, because whenever I meet someone who started their own thing, I'm always very curious about their childhood. I always find everyone's childhood to be quite interesting. Like I don't know, is it something happened in your childhood that caused you to start to do your own thing? But what were you like when you were in high school?
When I was in high school, I think in the early years, Form 1, Form 2, I came from a primary school that I wasn't a smart student per se. I was really bad at math. The only subject I was really great at was, for some reason, geography and maths. Sejarah, I was only good at it instead of 5. Standard 6 was a downhill battle, you know what I mean? So I was really good at, people say, oh, are you good in your studies or not? Yes, I'm good in English. That's pretty much about it. But when I went to Form 1, Form 2, I think that's where I really enjoyed school. I had amazing teachers that taught me and made me love math and all the other subjects that I studied. And I was brought up in an area where encourages participation. Like, I studied at Stella Maris, and I think, the pioneering bunch. So, like, in my Form 1, we had like 4 classes, 80 students or less. So we were very tight knit, and it was a Christian/Catholic school. So there was a lot of community building. So there was a lot of performances, a lot of singing. So I was involved in music. I was involved in the performing arts. I was involved in a lot of sports. In Form 3, I was the march past captain. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but during sports day, before the sport starts, right, we will have the marching ceremony, right? So our school, march past is a big thing, because my house, which was the Luke house, which was blue in color, set the standard when it comes to march past, because we had students who were from St. John's previously and from Catholic High School. They had this marching band, the marching band thing, where they play their music and suddenly they form all type of formations, pyramid lah, triangle, square lah, circle lah, oval shape lah, and it's really, really nice to watch. I remember Guan Yi and Yoshiko, they were from there. And they brought the concept over to our march past, and we started winning the march past thing. And I was the march past captain because I had the loudest voice.
Okay.
So I kept yelling 1, 2, 3, 4 for the formation for them to form the formation. And I think when it came to Form 4 and 5, I was made a prefect because the teachers didn't want me to hang out with the bad boys. They were so
How interesting.
Yeah,
the opposite of how you choose a prefect.
Yeah, it's like they were so afraid that I was gonna mix with bad influence, so they made me a prefect, and they made me. Actually, to be honest, it made me kind of like be friends with the troublemakers lah. And then hey, later got spot check so lah, you need me to help you or not? Those kind of things. And I think I was very involved in music. I had a band. I had a classmate or classmates who were very talented musicians. Today, like they play with people like Wang Li Hong, Jay Chou, Siti Nurhaliza.
Oh wow!
All the biggest Taiwanese pop stars, all the biggest Hollywood pop stars. They are their musicians. Yeah, so I like to think that I grew up in a circle of very talented people.
Right, and it was a small school.
Very small school, yeah.
That's how interesting. Yeah, right. So dense with talent. And it sounds like you're very active also and doing a lot of creative work.
I was very active. Not really from a artist point of view, but like, if there was something to do with sports, I was active. If it was something to do with performance, I was there. Like, whether it's going up to act in a skit, I was a part of it. Whether it was going up to sing, I was a part of it. If it's a band, I was a part of it. If it's something to kind of organize in terms of team building, I was a part of it.
Right.
So I think that school kind of built my confidence, because I was a very shy boy, I think.
That sounds like the opposite of
Yeah. In primary school, I was a very shy boy. I think in primary school, I grew up amongst a lot of people who were very, maybe confident and very high profile people. So they are very much more confident and more dominant as compared to. So my mom's a single parent. We don't come from a very wealthy family. So my mom is a government school teacher, and she's I think she grew up in a very much survival mode kind of thing. She's the number 6 of 9 siblings, and what her role literally is to work as many jobs as possible to put me in the best education system possible, so that I'll come out of it and get a good job, be rich, marry a good wife, and have kids. That's the Asian dream, You go and study hard, get good grades,
right.
Come out, get rich, marry a good wife, have kids. That's literally the blueprint of
right.
most Asian parents, right? So I think secondary school taught me a bit different, because it was me being involved in a lot of other things apart from just academics.
Right. Did you put up your hand to do it, or is it because the school was small and somehow the options for people who participate are less, so you ended up participating more?
I think the teachers forced us into it.
Right.
not really forced lah. Like they would voluntarily break us into crews. All right, you guys are in charge of this, and that taught us accountability. Like I had this teacher of mine. He's the discipline school teacher back then. His name is Mr. Ben. It's like in school he disciplines us, but out of school he brings us to Penang to eat the biggest chao kway teow prawn in Penang. So that's the relationship I have with my teachers, you know. It's like in school we have that respect of if you did something wrong, they're gonna scream at you in front of like 500 people. But out of school, they're gonna take care of you like they're your second parents out of school. So we had that relationship with all the teachers in my school. I love that. Like if I was not doing well in a specific subject, the teacher will call my mom and I'll be freaking out at home because my mom is sitting across the room on her landed line talking to my teacher and I can hear the conversation and kind of make out what they're talking. You know what I mean? And that was the love that the teachers gave to us when I was growing up in high school. And I really appreciated that.
Right. It's like tough love like that, right? A little bit.
In a way, but you know, sometimes there was this one time, my maths teacher, okay, this is the late Mrs. Param. So I love her to death. When I was in Form 3, right? So I was a bit of a chubby kid when I was in Form 1. But came Form 2, Form 3, I kind of grew in size vertically. And I started losing a lot of weight. She called my mom and she was so afraid of my mom. She's like, is everything okay at home? Is there any, like anything happening at home that's causing your son to lose a lot of weight? And she openly asked my mom, is your son on drugs? You know, these type of concerning questions that kind of put my mom on guard and in check to ask me, are you okay? To remind your parent that, hey, don't just let your child autopilot lah. Check on them, talk to them, have conversation with them. I think that allowed me to be closer to my mom and my teachers and not be afraid of them. Be afraid of them when you're doing something wrong, but not be afraid of them when you're doing nothing wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I had this teacher also, her name was Miss Kang. You know, there's this ruling where you cannot wear hair gel to school. So if you wear hair gel, boys, right, you want to be vain, so we'll do hair gel. I had long hair, so it's a different story. Some people like to do spiky hair. She would take the boys and flush the toilet with their head in the toilet to wash their hair, you know. That's hilarious, you know what I mean? I remember that. And it is the talk of the school. And she came from I believe she came from St. John's. And then, yeah, there you have her really teaching all those boys who are menaces to really come back down to earth and really, respect the rules of the school.
Right.
But out of school, she was like, oh, here's an ampao for you. Hi, how are you? You know, this kind of thing. But yeah, that's the kind of teachers I grew up with.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's interesting. you need people to call you out sometimes, right? And
Yeah.
be pampered. Right?
I always say this. Teachers are our parents away from home. And they took care of us. They are the people that our parents trust to kind of teach us to be, teach us academically, morally, and bring us up as amazing human beings.
Right. And who in your childhood you feel had the biggest influence on you?
Oh, I feel everybody has different influence, have different influences in different stages of their lives. I felt like, maybe in my younger days, my mom will be nagging down my ear to do this and that. So I guess a big part of it comes from my mom's support. There was never this very rigid rejection from my mom when I wanted to do something. I think my mom was obviously very strict when it comes to academic results, right? Which Asian parent isn't? When I wasn't great in my school academics, right, she would say things like, your mom's a teacher, how can you embarrass your mom like that? I'm a school teacher. The child should be smart. You know what I mean? Things like that will make me very inferior to my academic capabilities. But it came a point where I think in high school, like late high school, where SPM was like, after PMR, they want you to go to the science stream because obviously science stream is the better students and the art streams are the students who cannot study, right? So obviously I fought my way to try and go to science stream lah. I found it so difficult, man. I'm like, what the hell is physics and chemistry or whatever? No, I just love maths, right? I love maths, and I was great in physics and so. I hated the rest of the other subjects. I hated accounting so much. My God, my accounting teacher looked at me and she's like, "You're a has-been. You know what I mean? You cannot lah. You just don't even." And for me, it's like I just focus on maths. I loved maths. So obviously I got A for math, A in SPM. The rest was alphabetical school syllabus for kindergarten. If that's my results. But it came to a point in SPM. My mom said, "You know what? Just do the best you can, and whatever you do, don't give up." And then when he went to uni, she said that, "What do you want to do?" I did have a bit of like, my relatives and my sibling say, "Oh, you should do engineering," because I actually grew up wanting to be a pilot actually.
Oh, okay.
So after my SPM results, I sent my colorful SPM results to the cadet training recruitment programs.
Sure.
Obviously, none replied. So they were like, "Okay, never mind. If you cannot be a pilot, do the next best thing. Become an engineer. Because what? You can be an airline engineer also. Same thing. Same but different, but get paid well, that kind of thing." And yeah, I went to Taylor's and enrolled in CPU to do everything that evolved around engineering.
Right.
I hated it, man. I hated it so much. So then my mom said to me, "It's like, what do you really want to do?" So that's where I think I came out to do a part-time job in an events company.
Oh,
Yeah.
very different from engineering.
Shit, very. And I was like, "Oh, cool." They made me set up stuff, lightings for concerts, set up banners, I was literally doing hard labor lah. It was like a 48-hour setup for a car to appear out of a container with smoke, and I was inside the container, in the car, pushing the smoke, and they pay me like 2 days, $200, that kind of thing. And I worked part-time for that company too during my down days in uni. And then I came out and said, "Okay lah, I kind of want to do something with regards to marketing because it kind of looked cool, what is the event company under? Marketing. Okay, I'll do marketing, all right." So I guess that's where I sort of decided to do what I wanted to do.
Right.
And I actually enjoyed it. I first went to Sunway to do this whole Chartered Marketing Institute. I can't remember what it's called, but that was not really a great institution. They closed after a while. So I took my results there and I went to Metropolitan College and I told them what I wanted to do. I want to do marketing and PR. And then they enrolled me. They took my credits, they enrolled me, and they said that, "Okay, you need to do half a year of foundation, and after that, you'll do the 2+1 twinning program or whatever. I was supposed to do everything locally. And then as I was going into that whole program, I really encountered subjects that I enjoyed. My accounts was distinction and high distinction. I was so surprised that I brought my results back to my account teacher in high school. "Hey, Miss Lang, look, I got high distinction in uni leh." And she's like, "Good job." That's it. That's all she said lah. She was happy for me lah. And I just felt like I was around teachers who really wanted you to succeed, and that made the difference. Yeah. So
it does sound like you grew up with a lot of very good teachers.
oh yeah, I grew up with a lot of teachers that saw potential in me. Well, I said that no, I don't like this. But they kind of made the extra effort to kind of like, "No, you stay back here and I make you understand this so that you will pass."
Right.
Yeah. So I'm very grateful to teachers.
Right. Okay. And now if I'm jumping forward again, right? So when you decided to move past seeing yourself as just a creator for a YouTube channel, right? And then you went into, what was the first business you went to? Is it like a content production house or is it a talent agency? Which one came first?
I think the YouTube channel and the talent agency came first.
Came first, right?
Because when I was making films on YouTube, or when we were making films on YouTube, every talent that we put in front of the camera somehow managed to amass a large following. Like, if they were people that had no followings at the beginning and if we made a film, and if that film kind of went viral, somehow their followers would grow.
Right.
And it happened to a lot of creators in the beginning. And I never actually took notice of that actually. For me, it's like, oh, good lah, you get followers, great lah. That's great. So I never looked at it as a business venture until where we worked with this one individual. Her name was Josephine, and we put her in a few films, and then all of a sudden she grew to like 100,000 followers. And then suddenly I just told my wife, hey, last time you used to manage celebrities, right? So I guess you can manage these, I don't know what they were called back then, but they called them KOLs, right?
Chaos, right?
So I guess you can manage like these KOLs or talents and get jobs for them and then just take a cut from them, right? She's like, can also. And that's how it started. So I told Josephine, say, can you be my first talent? And from her, I signed 2 more talents. One was Arvind Kumar and Braden Ho. And then my wife worked with somebody, and she liked that person, Nedi Sushi, and she had a boyfriend who is a husband now called Ipu. So we signed all these talents under her, and she loved it because it was what she did back then. So she get brand deals with them, and she takes a commission cut from all these talents. While these talents all loved the fact that they had one salesperson dedicated to negotiate the deals fairly, and better deals for them to make their interest or their platform a business.
Right.
So she did that for a while, and she did it so much and she liked it so much where until she stopped bringing in sales for the YouTube channel. I was like, hey, don't like that. But then she kind of already made the whole YouTube channel thing some sort of like a very autopilot moving business. People will already come back. We had repeat clients coming back to us, who she brought in, like Samsung and stuff like that. They were repeat clients. So I guess at that point of time, that's when we started the talent agency. And for me, again, I was like, all right, man, now we got a talent agency. So cool. We have a YouTube channel. We have a talent agency. We're growing. We are doing better sales. And I'll just be happy at just that. Yeah. And that's how it is.
Right.
Yeah.
And then what happened after that?
I think after that, we had a lot of inquiries asking us to do ads, digital ads for brands, which we kind of turned down. Said, oh no, we don't do ads. We only do films to upload on our channel. But then we started accepting those ads. So Ruben is from a advertorial background, but he and I also did not like the fact that we accept ads, because ads, right? It's just you're doing ads for brands and very soulless, very tactical. It's like, okay, just do hatse. We love creating stories. But then when we started doing ads, we realized that actually this is a revenue stream, which if we ignore, it's a bit of a waste, right? So we started doing ad tutorials for McDonald's first, very small bite-sized videos. And that became another business revenue. And then when you do it for one brand, other brands will come and ask for it. But along the way, they were just very big disagreements that I had with Ruben, where he decided to okay, you know what? I think I've done this for like almost 7-8 years. Look, Ruben always aspired to be a filmmaker first. That means like film director, creative, everything around revolving around making films for cinema, making films for that told really personal stories. And I think maybe back then I failed to respect that craft, because for me it's like I was very busy. YouTube channel. Okay, we are the disruptors. We are the people that are doing the unconventional. So while we do see eye to eye on certain things, there are some things that we do not see eye to eye, and we cannot hold people back into what they want to do. Otherwise, we'll become the biggest. One of the biggest. The biggest partners will become the biggest enemies if we completely start conflicting each other on expectation and realities. So I think he took a step and said, like, you know what, this thing was kind of what you have always wanted to do anyways. He came in, yes. Yeah, so the YouTube thing, yes, I started it. It was my idea in the beginning, and Ruben was actually my wife's classmate in high school. So when I asked my wife, hey, do you know anyone who can kind of help me film this video? So she introduced me to Ruben. So that I told him that, hey, do you want to just do this together, kind of thing. So yeah, while I initiated the whole YouTube thing, and obviously he came in to grow the thing together with me. Then after 7 years, I think he just wanted to move away and kind of do things on his own to see whether he can build his own brand and his own direction of telling stories, which he is doing now with his production company called Imagineers Films, which is doing stuff very much like for the lack of a better comparison, like what you would see on Petronas films, like back in the days with Yasmin Ahmad, these type of very heartwarming, heartfelt stories. So, you have to kind of respect his decision for that.
Right.
So, while that happened, and I'm like, oh man, what do I do now? Because the branding has always been like, oh, it's the both of us for like 7 years, and now I'm on my own. So for me, it's like, okay, cool, never mind. I will just kind of continue on to do, which kind of made me burn out in a way where, because I was the one kind of like writing the stories and then asking my team to produce the films and stuff like that. And then you had this talent management side, which I'm trying to figure out. And for me, it's like, okay, never mind. I think I still have some juice in me. We had some writers that are writing. So I just like went on with it. We hit 1 million subscribers. That was 2018, 2019. And then we went to 2020 without understanding what would happen. I remember 2020 already, we had our plans lined up. We had some clients who were already looking to work with us on the YouTube channel to make films, to make content, and everything. Everything was done. So literally that was me going into 2020. And
how was that? That was obviously the year where COVID hit all of us and there were lockdowns and
yeah, it was weird. Because obviously who would have predicted COVID, right? So prior to that happening, I worked with one person from Samsung. Her name is she's the late Elaine So. She's the chief marketing officer. Actually, I don't know what it was she saw in me, but everything she asked me to do, I said cannot. She said can. She was like, oh, when I said backtrack a bit, when I said that we started doing commercials for brands. So out of in my mind, I've always wanted to do a Chinese New Year video for a brand. I've never gotten the opportunity to do that. Then suddenly, I had Elaine So come to me and say, Jin, I want you to do a Chinese New Year video for Samsung. I was like, huh? How? I don't know. You can figure it out. I was like, oh, I don't know how to do it. It's like, no, I'll pay you. Here's $150,000. Figure it out. You can do it. And I'm like, oh crap. Okay. So I went back and I told my team, Ruben's already left at that point in time. I said, okay, guys, we need to figure out how to spend this money to make our film the best looking film. So this on par with all the Petronas films. And I was writing a script and I was directing it and I was having my team edit it and we pulled it off. And I was like, okay, this is it. This is our short film and we uploaded it. People loved it. It went viral on our channel. It went viral on their platform. And then they came back and said, okay, look, do more. I was like, okay, do for Raya, do for, Deepavali, do for Merdeka. And that kind of gave us gave me the assurance that, okay, we can do this. We can kind of tap it into this industry of making festive videos for brands. And at the same time, that same lady, so came to me and said that I'm launching my phone, my flagship phone, and I want some influencer marketing campaign, right? So obviously we were managing 5 people, right? So my wife, here's my 5 talents.
yeah.
And then she came back to me, I love your 5 talents, but I want 40. Then I'm like, oh, I don't have 40. It's okay. You will find 40. You make it happen lah. Okay? You let me know on Monday. And I like, okay. I just said okay. And I went back and I told my wife, we need to find 40 people right now. 30 to 40 people for a campaign for a phone. Then my wife like, how the hell are we going to do that? I was like, it's okay. I will call all the influencers that we used to work with. One by one, we write their name, their costs, and their everything. And then we went back. Okay, here's the list of people. Then obviously there was some back and no, I don't like this person. I don't know. Contact this person. Oh, I don't know this person. And no choice. We have to call her, right? And then we managed to pull. My wife single-handedly managed to pull off a KOL campaign for Samsung. At that point in time, there are about 20, 30 people. One person writing the brief, calling 20 people, asking them to execute the campaign, getting their briefs, their drafts. Okay, back then was easy because it's all photos.
Right.
It's not videos. Get the draft, get the brief and everything, send it to Samsung, work with their managers and everything, get the approvals, and then ask the influencers to post at this specific given time, get the reports, do the reports, and send it to them. Yeah, it was a crazy time, but my wife did it alone,
Well, okay.
and she loved it for some reason. She was a workaholic. So for me, I was like, okay, you like it, right? Okay, lah, you do it, lah. I will continue doing the YouTube thing. Okay, you like doing this, you do. Yeah, until she got pregnant, and that's where I started hiring someone to help her. As you can see, the way I'm explaining this, right? There was never really a progressive structure of growth for the company. We were literally all over the place, right? Any given entrepreneur will be like, okay, I'll build the base first. Okay, build the teams, and then build the structure, build the system. Okay, go out. We were all over the place. We were literally being pushed in the corner, asking us to do things we've never done before, and like saying like, okay, we'll try. And that's my motto. Okay, we'll try, lor. And let's not fail, because if we fail, like, it's a lot of money on the table.
Right. Right. In some sense, you grew very organically, right? Like based on like what the market needed or what was available to you.
Yes. I felt that I saw what the market needed. The clients confirmed that and put me on the spot and said, yeah, this is what we need. Do it, lah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And in some sense, as I was sort of like hearing your story, obviously the YouTube channel, it sounded like it originally obviously didn't bring a lot of money, but it brought you a lot of attention and eyeballs, and that birthed a lot of these different businesses that you're now into.
Yeah. So when came 2020, I felt like when Ruben left, obviously I had to make decision on my own. I think 2020 hit, and then COVID happened. A lot of uncertainty was out there. A lot of clients called and said, okay, with KIV first. Well, KIV was the biggest three letters that I keep hearing from my clients. And for me, it's like, okay, if we KIV now and we don't spend your advertising money, where are you going to spend it, right? And then if you're not going to spend it and we don't spend it for you, it means we're not going to make money, right? So for me, it was like, oh, what do we do now? Obviously, we pivoted to a lot of things. Like, okay, how do we shoot online without cameras? How do we did a lot of things. Like, we got a lot of our friends in the influencer marketing industry. Like, for example, one of that is Justina Kwan. Hey, you know what? Here's a scene that you can do with your family. Can you record it and send it back to us? And then we will make it to a video. And we did that. We worked with a lot of people. Everybody shot their scenes and sent it to us, and we made videos. We continued doing that. We did some things that we shot over Zoom. We did some things that we shot over Google Meet and stuff like that. And then I was like, hey, if the client is going to spend, let's say, $200,000 with us because of a production, right? And we're going to do a short film, but now we cannot shoot. How about I take that money and I find 20 or maybe 30 influencers to shoot their videos and then, do a campaign instead. And the client's like, okay, Cap. So instead of spending $200,000 on Jinnyboy TV, we were taking $200,000 and spending it on maybe 20, 30 influencers.
Right.
Who could film their own content. And then from there, we'll pick the best performing content, and the clients can decide whether they want to buy ads on it. Okay. And then we had really supportive clients like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do it. And then for me, it was like, all right, let's go. Let's go. Because like, let's just call all the clients and tell them that, hey, do you want to do an influencer campaign? And then again, we were really lucky. One client, we did this for one client, and the other client saw. And my job back then is to just start sharing what we've been doing to other people. And then some clients will say no, some clients will say yes, some clients will say no, some clients will say yes. And then before you know it, we were literally, me and my wife were at home running like, I don't know, I can't explain what we were doing, but we were talking, we were on Google Meet calls, we were on Zoom calls. They were there on call with us for the whole entire workday. All right, let's call this person. Okay, let's call that person. Okay, let's find this list of influencers. Okay, let's get this group of people. Okay, let's find these people whether they want to do this campaign or not. We were running an influencer network campaign already at that point in time without realizing it.
Right.
And I saw this opportunity. Okay, cool. You know what? This is what's going to be big. Influencer campaigns are going to be the next big thing. COVID just sped it up by 500%.
Right.
And for me, it's like, that was quite sure of what I wanted to do. For me, it's like, okay, what do we need? When we run an influencer campaign, what do we need? Okay, we need a team to write the briefs. and delegate the campaigns to influencers. So we started hiring. I started hiring. Me and my wife started hiring, and we just hired and hired and hired and hired and hired. And the social media campaign team just started growing from like 4 persons to 5 to 10 to 15 to 20. And today we have about like 30.
Oh wow.
And after that, in the process of growing, clients started asking for, okay, I like your campaigns, but can you come up with creative campaigns? And then it's all like, oh, cool, we need a creative team. Then I started growing the creative team. We had like 3 people, then 4, 5, 6. And then, it just, whatever we needed, I hired. And that was my job for the past 3 years. Yeah, and I told my team, like, look, guys, I can't be involved in creative anymore. My job is to basically fill the void that needs to be filled. Right. And then for some reason, we have managed to grow to a team of maybe about 50 plus people. Right. In a blink of an eye, which to be honest, I kind of wonder what we're doing. It still seems like of a blur, but then we have managed to build systems.
Right.
Because of our team members, our staff, our internal teams, they have managed to outline the correct working format and made it into an SOA, standard operating procedure, SOP, and we built systems, and now we are just scaling on systems.
Right. That sounds like, so I'm very curious about this because a lot of young people obviously think about starting their own business and all that. And even though in the early days, I would say, yes, you were kind of the CEO of the business during your YouTube channel days, but it's nothing close to what you're doing now. Like you're like a CEO, right? Like you're moved past the creative side, very focused on running operations.
Yeah, to be honest, like, when some agencies come and say, who's the CEO of your company? Then I'm like, I look at everyone, I guess me. You know what I mean? So like, I don't even know what a CEO does. Like, really. Like, so much so that I have to Google and say, what does a CEO do? And I look at it, I was like, oh, this looks like something that I'll never do. You know what I mean? But I guess, like, that's why I've always labeled myself as the founder. And I guess right now, a CEO is a person who has probably done everything from top to bottom, from its infancy to its peak operational days. That means you have to be able to know what it's like to be in the shoes of a freshie joining your company, to the mid-level seniors, to the managers, to the operations department, to the finance department, to the creative, every department. You're a management trainee, but everything lah. You know what I mean? You need to understand how everything works. Then now look at it from a bird's eye point of view and build a sustainable system. So to me, that's what I think a role of a CEO is now.
Yes, and it's quite different from a creative because creative things, I think this is true. Like creatives don't think in systems, but as a CEO, you have to think in systems. Right? Because you're scaling something, right?
Yeah.
Right? So like how has that been like for you adjusting to this role?
Very, very stressful.
Yeah.
Very, very stressful. I don't think people understand the level of stress that a person who runs a company has to go through. It's a very lonely process, but I have my wife to run it with me. But most of the time, my wife was just asking me, so what do you want to do? She's a very good executioner. She's a very good salesperson, but coming up with ideas was more of a always back and forth. And I felt that she's always said that, I just trust whatever you're going to decide and come up with, right? Then for me, when someone says that to you, like, huh? But I want a mathematical conclusion, you know what I mean? If you're asking what we're going to do, I want 1 + 1 = 2, not some this equation, what equation equals to the what compound of whatever. I want a very straightforward conclusion. So it's a very stressful transition to be able to worry about different things. At one point, I was worrying about, do you think the audiences will like this? Do you think they will watch this scene and cry? Do you think they will laugh at this scene? To, how am I going to make sure that I can pay my staff every month? How can I make sure that my cash flow is good to run this business? How am I going to make sure that I can give all of my employees an increment year after year? That became the... From looking at scripts and storyboards, I'm looking at Excel sheets now, which is boring, thrilling in a way where things are good, but very scary when all of a sudden the numbers deviate from past performances. You'd be like, oh, and that's where you kind of like jump out of your seat. Okay, what's happening? And you have meeting with the relevant groups or what happened, why do you think? And then from there, you decide what course of action you want to do next.
Right.
So yeah, you're right. It's very different.
It's very. I empathize with you because I think I'm learning too. Thank you, folks.
Yeah.
And I'm very curious because now how many talents do you manage right now?
In terms of like the KOL influencer talents, right? I manage about, I forgot. We 15. We manage 15.
15, 15?
15 talents.
Right.
Some of them you might be very familiar with, like Jabroseph, Sai. We have the OGs like Shufei, Brandon, Eddie Edipo, Avi Kumar. We have the new gen ones like Balepan TV, Arisa and Joshua. Am I missing something else? The Gen Z ones very much on TikTok like Chubby and Gajen. Am I missing anyone else? Oh, Alex, who's a dancer. So we represent these talents on an exclusive basis.
Right.
So we're very particular on the talents we sign. We wanted to sign talents that have a creative background. That means they're able to create. That means like if we give you a brief, you're supposed to come up with a creative way to present that brief. Not just let's just follow whatever the client wants. You have to challenge the status quo and do something that is uniquely creative. So we want creators in that sense. We signed also Sean Solo, aka known as the Hongdae guy.
Oh, sure. You signed Sean Solo.
Yeah, so that's where we are kind of moving. We're kind of signing international talents now. So those are talents that we sign. We work with exclusively. We build their portfolio in terms of branding and also monetary portfolio, brand deals. And we negotiate for that. We manage them. We make sure that they don't have to chase for papers and stuff like that. We basically manage them like we are like an artist management. Right. And then you have the non-exclusive one where we do campaigns. That's the social team. So 15 for now. Is it growing? Yes, it will. But we're not growing. We're not actively trying to grow it to like a large number.
Right. And then, and as someone who's obviously operated this space for so many years, I mean, I suppose you saw the beginning times when this whole KOL thing was even a thing, right? There are a lot of young people right now who they see a role as an influencer KOL as like, wow, this is so amazing.
Yes.
I get the status, I get the fame, and I suppose they imagine I can make a lot of money, right? But as someone who's operating the space, especially in Malaysia, what do you think of this industry? Like, not industry, the career as a KOL.
Okay, as the career in KOL, some people think that the more popular you are, the more money you make, and it's absolutely false. That's the unfortunate story. I have met some people who are famous, but they don't know how to monetize themselves. A lot of people tend to affiliate numbers with expertism, if that even is a word. Like the more followers you have, the more expert you are in your field. That's why you get a lot of followers, right? It's like, oh, Jin has 1 million subscribers. He must know it all. No, the answer is no. Sometimes most of the influencers in their beginning stage don't even know why they got so many followers. They probably did something that went viral, and then at that point of time, that viral video amassed them a lot of followers. But is it enough to tell everyone that they have been in this industry for like 10 years and their experience is there to understand how to get that amount of followers? No. Yeah, it is. A lot of people tend to always think that, the popular influencers know it all. I'm here to tell you it's a very difficult journey. So I've come across some influencers, right? They don't even know how to charge, and they're getting bullied by agencies and brands. And that's where we come in. Yeah, it's like, you've got this amount of followers. Why are you charging $400? You should be charging 5,000. You should be charging 10,000. Right. So that's where we come in and we fill the void and we tell them up front.
Right. Because you understand like the market rates and market practice and everything.
I understand the market rate and I understand the practice. And there are a lot of people that, okay, does it mean you make more money? The more famous you are, you make more money? Yeah, in some ways it is true. The more popular you are, if you know how to leverage on your popularity, you'll make a lot of money. But we have worked with creators who started from zero who makes more money than people who are more famous than themselves. They just need clear system and a dedicated team that is out there to not only sell their numbers, but their skill set. Like, I'll give you an example. Shu Fei started with us when she was at 5,000 followers. Did we sell her followers? No, we sold the fact that she could create content about lifestyle. She could create content about gaming. She could create content that, represented a particular niche market that was really interested in the gaming industry. And then what the brands could leverage after that was they could take that and kind of do an ad buy in it or leverage it on their own platforms and hopefully reaches a completely different audience. So that's the value that we help brands understand. Because a lot of brands these days will just come, I just want the most famous influencer. Give it to me right now. I want the most famous. I want 1 million followers. I want 2 million followers. Because why? The bigger the follower, the more the reach. Which is not wrong. But it's the same. If you want a person with 1 million followers, it's the same as spending money to hire 10 people with 100,000 followers. I would dare say that it's cheaper for you to hire 10 people with 100,000 followers than to hire that one person with 1 million followers. Because the person with 1 million followers is going to charge you the premium price. I've got 1 million followers. I'm famous. I'm going to charge you this amount. You know what I mean?
Right. So like sometimes it's like you go to, do you call them like micro influencers?
Yeah, so there are different tiers like micro, macro, mega. Like to be honest, I wanted to find out who comes up with all these terminologies. Like really, like where all these things, who gives birth to all these things, When I wanted to be a YouTuber, I just wanted to be a filmmaker. That's it. Then suddenly I was given a label of KOL. Suddenly I'm an influencer. I'm like, huh? I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'll take whatever that comes,
Right. Which label resonates with you the most, actually?
I'm Jin. Just call me Jin. Yeah. I really don't know. I really don't know what label. I'm never ever went out. I want to be a creator. I want to be an artist in my craft. I want to be. Like right now, someone comes up to me and says, "Hey, you're an entrepreneur." I was like, "No, I'm not." I was just forced to label myself as an entrepreneur because that's the best label that you can label me right now. Because I'm running a company. That's it. Oh, what do I label him as? An entrepreneur. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I never actively came out to want to be labeled as an entrepreneur. Yeah. Because there are bigger entrepreneurs out there who closed bigger deals than I did. Yeah, they should be labeled as an entrepreneur.
I've got like, say 3 questions, last 3 questions for you.
Yeah.
First one is, you talked about how COVID at the time sort of sped up a lot of things, right? Mm-hmm. And sometimes I always feel that in a crisis, it actually, let me take the opposite. When things are very stable, everyone's just BAU, they're not overthinking stuff. But in a crisis, it forces people to be creative, to think of out of the box, new solutions are born and all that. Right? That's during the COVID time. Right now, I mean, highly we are in the job space, obviously, and everyone's just talking about AI. Mm-hmm. AI. Everywhere I open my social media, someone's talking about AI, right? So, and I obviously know AI is also creeping into the creative world.
Yes.
A lot, right? What's your opinion of it as someone in this world?
I had this conversation with one of my head of department yesterday. I was like, "Hey, are we starting to adapt to this AI landscape? Are we upskilling ourselves to learn how to prompt? Are we upskilling ourselves to learn what there is out there in order to in order to kind of help with what we're currently doing?" So a lot of people tend to say that, AI is coming into the creative space. And I really, really understand that because like AI is kind of like taking other people's work and kind of taking data from other people's work and then generating a new piece of artwork based on the public artwork that's out there. So obviously my team and I are very against using AI as the end product for any creative work, right? But we would need to adapt sometimes in order to help help with the process of getting the end product of a creative person. I'll give you an example. Before they started having all these prompts to do all these videos or whatever, right? When AI first came out and they could generate images, I said, "Hey, do you think we can use these prompts to do our storyboarding so that we can basically help clients visualize what we're trying to write in text?" Because most of the time, we will be using either a designer or a storyboard artist
who's going to charge you per frame, right? So at the end of the day, it's going to take like 2-3 days. But AI made it a lot faster. And yes, a lot of people are going to say that, oh, does this mean that the storyboard artist is going to be out of a job? I think from the surface level, people are going to say that, yeah, he probably is going to be out of a job. But what could AI do in order to help assist with his work is the question I'm trying to ask everyone.
Right.
You know, how can AI assist with us? Let's just use it at that, but don't use it as a cheating method.
Right.
And don't use it as a way to replace other people's job, but more of like, you need to be aware, you need to know how to use it just in case. Because if it's what COVID taught me, is that you have to be always ready to upskill, you have to be ready to pivot, you have to be ready to be knowledgeable. In case something happens, you have to be in a position to know as much as you can so that you make the best decision. Not every decision is going to be a right decision. It's going to be a calculated risk decision. So how do you achieve that? You need to learn, you need to adapt, you need to study, you need to research as much as you can. You need to go down to the ground and do it with your bare hands to understand what you're working with, what you're challenged with, in order to make that one decision that's going to change the path of your company. So a lot of people right now are raising the question, is AI going to replace our jobs? That's a good question to ask, yes. But should you be afraid? No, you should not be afraid. You should be actually motivated to see how can I leverage on this. Because you know why? The minute somebody is able to leverage on this, everybody's going to, okay, let's follow that. And then AI is going to come and create something new, or there's going to be something above AI that's going to come after AI, that's going to kill AI. And then what do we do? In the end of the day, it's not going to be AI. It's going to be IA. Do we learn that?
Right.
So, like, okay, I give it look, we used to have taxi drivers, and all of a sudden we had Grab. Right? And Grab, people said, oh, you're gonna put all the taxi drivers out of jobs. But what did they do? They adapted what? Taxi drivers became Grab drivers too. And not only that, it allowed them to do multiple jobs, not just driving around. They could deliver food, they could deliver documents and stuff like that. So that kind of that gave birth to other jobs. Did that kill other jobs? It probably did, But then again, those who adapt will survive. Those who are comfortable will just kind of be X'd out eventually.
Right.
And I am in no way trying to discourage people to be afraid of the question of, is AI going to replace our jobs? Yes, that's the question. So how are we going to make sure that it doesn't replace our jobs? So you got to adapt. Because back then, before the AI narrative came into the picture, during the COVID era, I had to adapt. If I was just going to be so egoistic and say, no, I'm just going to continue doing YouTube because I'm a YouTuber, creative is my thing, I don't care, I had to force myself to become a business owner in order to adapt with changing times in COVID. So if I didn't, if I did not do that today, Jinnyboy TV would be dead today. Look at this. We have not uploaded a single video in 3 years. In reality, that is the death of an influencer already. It's like, oh, okay. No brand wants to, I can tell you, no inquiries are coming in to ask for a video on Jinnyboy TV anymore, mate. That is the death of the career of that. If I refuse to pivot, if I refuse to research, if I refuse to understand what a CEO needs to do in order to build a company, I would have let my entire team of 9 people back then down. And that's the end of that media business.
Right.
Yeah. But they stuck with me. The longest has been 9 years. And they saw the transition. So that was the biggest fear for me, actually, when I did the whole business thing. Because we saw my YouTube channel kind of die.
Right.
So I was like, crap. That means every glory has its ending. Right? So then I was like really afraid this time in terms of the business. I was like asking myself, I built Aspect Ratio Studios. How is this business going to last forever? I want it to last forever. Is it going to be another Jinnyboy TV where after a few years it's going to die? So I was really, to be honest, like in the same time as building the company, I was asking the same question: hey, how is this going to last forever? This year the sales is good. Is it a fluke? Is next year going to be worse? Is the next year going to be worse than the previous year? Oh no, we hit targets. Okay, that means next year we're going to die. I always had this thinking, and then it led me to kind of connect with a bunch of influential people. One of them is I say Dato Loy of the Taylor's Group. He gave me a lot of advice. I seek advice from him from time to time, and he gave me a very good perspective. It's like, when you build a company on good values, it will last forever. It's not about building a company that is rich. It's not building a company that is rich monetarily. It's about building a company that's great in values. And straight away, I realized that, that's what I've been doing. I feel it wasn't about hitting KPIs. We ran a company for the longest time for 7 years with no KPIs. We were like, take whatever comes. This year we hit this amount. Okay, pull up. And this year, we hit higher. Great. We next year hit. Great. But what we did not, what I wanted was, I number one, when we represented talents, we make sure that we wanted to represent them at fair market value and make sure that they are getting the best amount that they could get if they were to run the business themselves. When we hired staff to work with us, we wanted them to be compensated as much as possible and as much as the company could afford when times are good. It's like when COVID hit, I remember that my team were due for an increment. And I said that, look, my cash flow doesn't really have that much money for your increments that you are due to receive this time. I told them, could you give me 6 months? And if we do well, I will backtrack whatever I owe you on the month that we are doing well. But if I fail to do that in 6 months, I will tell you that we have 6 months of reserve left. I'm just going to pay you 6 months. You go look for another job. And they said that, okay, cool. Sounds like a thing that we can work together and work towards with. And I did that. They stuck with me, and I did that. And I'm really grateful for them to do that. I didn't know what I was doing, to be honest. Literally, I was like, hey, I cannot pay you now, I pay you later, can I? I was literally saying that.
Right.
And they're like, okay, cool. And they continue to try to grow. And we implemented a lot of things where we paid them quarterly bonuses when they reach a certain KPI. And everybody gets to see the revenue. Everyone. There's no such thing as, hey, let's hide this. Later, they see, they're going to ask for more money.
Right.
And I will openly say that if you want more money, justify it to me. Because I was once in your position getting your paycheck and your pay scale. And I knew what I was capable of. And I knew the capabilities of a certain person that brings in this amount of revenue and the cost to it.
Right.
And I tell that everyone that, my door is an open door. If you think that you're underpaid, come and talk to me. And if we can't afford to pay you, I think you should look for a job elsewhere. And this is the transparency that everybody needs from the employer, especially from the owners of the company. Right. And they have forced me to do this because I always wanted my bosses to be transparent to me last time when I first got my first paycheck. Because I was paid 3.5 at one point on my rating. 1.25. And they told me, the HR told me that, this is the entry level. We can't give you this. Only for me to be training my trainee who got twice the amount of me. And I'm training the person. So I asked the HR, why is this person getting more than me when I am training them? But you told me back then, this is as most as HR can give you. And then they'll be like, this is the standard operating of or procedure of HR. We only can give you a maximum of 5% increment. Or anything more than that needs to justify a promotion. But you're a radio DJ. As a radio DJ, you don't get a promotion. Then I'm like, in my mind on that, it means you really don't see the value in me. So, they're trying to, obviously, I don't blame them. They're trying to protect the company. I understand that now.
Right.
Yeah. For me, it's a willing buyer, willing seller. You need to have that person justify their worth to you. Because you know why? Every staff these days, they are smart. They can easily go out and talk to their peers about what they're getting in the industry and then kind of reflect back on themselves. I'm doing the same amount of work. I'm doing the same amount of thing, but I'm not getting the same amount of compensation. So do I need to ask for more or am I happy? You have every right to ask that question.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You said something quite interesting just now, which sort of is connected to my second last question. Mm-hmm. You mentioned every glory has its ending.
Yeah.
And I picked up when I looked up your Instagram account just now that your first sentence in your bio was, I'm an irrelevant trying to stay relevant. How does I mean, I wonder, obviously, you come from, you tell, you have a good sense of humor and all that, but how much of this is humor? How much of it is deflecting some real emotion that you have? And where do you see the future for you as a personality?
Yeah, my sense of humor is real weird. So for me, right, I always like to think that you have to be willing to laugh at yourself. Why? Because it shows that you've grown. So I'm an irrelevant, trying to stay relevant, right? So I laugh at myself because like those are the things I used to do before. I laugh at them not because they're bad. I laugh at them as like, oh my god, I look at a video that I had 10 years ago, like, oh, this looks horrible. I could produce much better videos now. To me, it kind of shows growth, you know? And I'm willing to laugh at the mistakes that I did before. And that's one way of me of trying to be relevant, right? That's one way of me of trying to cope. That's one way of me of trying to learn new things. Why? Because I need to make sure that I'm very well aware with what's relevant right now. Not only in the entertainment industry, but also in the industry that I'm currently working in. So yeah, I'm an irrelevant. Try to stay relevant. In the joking context of influencers, yeah, I'm an irrelevant because I can't make videos that hit 1 million anymore. So I'm irrelevant. Nobody cares about me anymore. But I'm doing other things.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, and you did touch on the fact that sometimes I guess reality happens, whether you like it or not, and you just have to, you cannot just keep living in the past, right? You just have to adapt to the new reality.
Yes.
Right. And then I always find that, the people sometimes feel that it's not really like you against reality, you're actually part of reality. Sometimes
Yes.
you're moving together.
You are. And for some reason, you are part of the process of creating the new reality. Yeah. So it's a very interesting world. I like for me is everybody always says, "What's your plan?" I have this one staff. His name is Ryan. Every year he comes to me and he says, "So boss, what's your plan next year?" And half the time he's like, "How the heck am I supposed to know?" Until I told him that he's a head of department. Now like, so what's your plan? He's like, you wait. Now he knows. Now he knows. When he asked me that question, what's your plan? What's your plan? I said, how am I supposed to know? Every day you ask me the same question. How am I supposed to know? I'll take it. For me, I think I want to take it as it comes. Because, there's a saying, nothing is broken, don't fix it. But always be ready. When it's broken, fix it. So that keeps me on my toes.
Right. Last question. For someone who's a young Malaysian now, most of the people that listen to us and use our platform, they are Gen Z. Gen Z, they're either university, just graduated, etc. Right? And as they hear your story, they might be thinking something, hey, I also have a job now.
Oh.
And, I've also been thinking maybe I can go and do my own thing, but feels a bit dangerous, especially now there's so much uncertainty, like feels safer to be in a job. What kind of advice would you give them on how to make this decision?
Now, first things first, they watch this video and they be like, who is this Jinnyboy giving out advice? Why should I listen to him? I feel like no matter what generation comes out and how people kind of downplays the different generations, whether it's A, B, C, D, or the Z. Like when I was a fresh grad, they looked out on us. Same thing. Every generation goes through the same thing, but in a different way. Like when I wanted to be creative, my bosses say, focus on selling the songs. That's your job. You know what I mean? Like whatever you want. And then they'll be like, all these young fellas. The older people will say, we are referred to as, these young fellas, right? Now we be like, Gen Zs. I feel that at the end of the day, if you don't come from a wealthy background and you don't have big capital to blow, then you shouldn't be taking very big risks. You should be learning from your employers. The first few jobs that you basically join, you should be learning from them. You should be asking a question, where am I working? Why am I working here? Who am I working for? Who is this person? How did he build this company? Is he someone that I could look up to and follow and take advice from? Do it long enough until you are don't jump jobs for a pay rise. Well, although that's a great strategy, be an expert in whatever you're tasked to do. And then when you feel that you're getting comfortable, be a bit more aggressive in the sense where, hey, what can I do more? What can I do more? And know your worth when you do it. It's like, okay, boss, I think I can do this, and then do it, then ask for a raise. That's the corporate ladder, I'll say, right? If you want to come out and do your thing, again, if you don't have a very big capital to kind of go and blow and take a risk with, then work for someone who you can look up to and learn from. Like, it's very nice to say that come out, do your own business, be your own boss, make a lot of money. I can be very honest. I don't think I made a lot of money only until after 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, 7 or 8 years after I never took a salary from my business, I just took dividends.
Right.
It's like after we paid all the stuff, after minus costs, after paid taxes, then I take the lump sum at the end as dividends. At the end of the day, and I did that for a really long time. Half the time, the banks will be like, I'm sorry, you can't take a loan because your credit score not good enough. I'm like, what? That was, when I wanted to buy my first house, I had to join names with my wife because they said, oh, sorry, they said this like, oh, your credit score not good enough, can't take loan. I'm like, what? Oh, yeah, my first house, I had to basically join along with my wife to buy a condo. How old was I? I was 30 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I was really doing YouTube for about 3 years. I could off. I was like,
And you were famous then, right? So,
I was. Yeah, I was famous really. Like for me, it's like, hey, can I do an Instagram post for approval of your loan? Yeah. So, yeah, it's very like some people have a great idea and they are successful, and I give it to them because when you run your own business, right? Some people think like, do you need luck? Yes. Some of it requires luck. Right time, right place, a bit of luck. Do you need to be smart? Do you need to be knowledgeable? Yeah. I would say 30% knowledgeable, 70% requires a bit of luck. I'll say that. Some people will differ from my thinking. In my case, I would say 30% knowledge and the groundwork, 70% luck. That's me. Some people be like 70% knowledge, 30% luck because they're more confident. I know this will work because I'm very well researched and stuff like that. So it really differs for different people. At the end of the day, don't chase the big bucks fast. Don't chase fame fast. Don't chase everything fast. While it's very cliche to say that we have time, some of us don't. Time is on your side, and you just need to be contented with where you are at different stages of life. Then I feel there will be a very consistent growth. But if you are very eager to be growing too fast and want instant results, and that's there's this saying where you go up fast, you crash down fast. Yeah, that happens. Right. So I feel like I've had a slow growth. Some people are like, see this guy hit 1 million subscribers in 2 years. It took you how long? 7 years. I'm like, oh yeah, but it's okay. I got there, and I celebrated that. That was my goal. One of my goals was the 1 million subscribers. That's it. And we hit that. And then, people were thinking, 1 million subscribers, you're doing, yay, onwards, 2 million subscribers. Oh, I did it. I went to a different path. Did I predict that path? No, not really. But did I calculate that risk before heading to the other path? Yes, I did. And I knew somehow 30% of it will work. 70% was just based on whether luck will fall on my side or not at that point of time.
Perfect. And thank you, Jin, for sharing your story with us so candidly, in such great detail. I really love hearing everything. And I mean, as someone who's known you for many, many years, it's also, I enjoy the fact that I get to ask you these really deep questions.
Yeah, thank you.
It's really fun for me.
I hardly do interviews. Nobody asks me questions.
Oh.
Yeah, like the reason.
Normally you ask the question.
Yeah, normally I've been doing that for like 15 years, and then like recently I've been going on and people have been asking me questions that really made me to really think about what I've done, and I'm very happy that I'm able to share and not pluck out everything from the sky and give you complete. It's things that I've been through as an individual, as a creative, and as a business owner, and I'm very grateful that I've been given this resource and knowledge to be able to share. And it's through the work that I've done, not just alone, but through the team, the people I've met. Yeah, I think it's a very interesting process, this thing, that I will continue to learn.
and that process hopefully will not end for very, very long.
I hope so. Like my focus right now is my kids. So I trust my team more than I trust myself.
You trust your team over your kids.
Yes.
Oh, what?
I trust my team more than I trust myself.
Oh, yourself. Oh, right.
So for me, it's like I just want to be with my kids, my family. That's my focus. And then whenever I can be a part of the company's further growth, I'll do it.
Right. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Jin.
Thank you.
Right. All right. Thanks for hanging out with us and getting to the end of the episode. If you like this, follow us or hit the subscribe button. It will help us bring on more amazing guests and makes the whole show better for you. So thanks again and see you in the next one.